I'm definitely inspired by the fact that you take your time, you put them time and you sacrifice and you stand by your word. Your word is the biggest thing. And I think for me as a single mom raising a young man, I have to be an example.
There you go. All right, looks like we are live once again. Hello, feisty, badass, busy triathletes, Ironman finishers, swimmers, cyclists, runners, and of course, our wannabe triathletes. Today, you're going to be so inspired. You're going to be so motivated. You're going to be getting up tomorrow morning or even work out right after this interview with an amazing, inspirational, single mom, hardworking go-getter, Villie London. Villie! How are you doing? Good to have you. I know you're so busy, but you are here.
I am. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So before we move forward, I'm asking a lot of questions to Villie. Let me introduce you, Villie. Villie actually is a single mom. And when she started this year, when I met her, she actually had a big goal. Her big goal, let me show you something here of what she wanted to achieve. So this is what Villie said. What's your short-term goal in terms of triathlon and why? Why do you want to achieve it? And she said, well, I want to complete the events I sign up for this upcoming year. And with the proper training, place stop in my age group, this is my goal for 2021. No, so anyone who's listening or viewing this live show, just say hashtag, enter hashtag live or hashtag replay if it's a replay. Are you similar to Villie, who's new to triathlon, but then at the same time, you know what? I want to be at the top of my age group. I don't know how, but I still want it. If that's you, just say, me, I want that top. Hashtag top, if that's you, because you have that mindset that even though you don't know how yet, you know, you just want to be at the top, or you want to be the best athlete that you can be. So when Villie started, even though she has this goal, at the same time, just like every athlete, she has a lot of challenges. And let me share you also her challenges, if you don't mind, Villie. Let's share what she said. All right, main challenges. She said, a drastic change in finances took place this past week, which is encouraging me to move up plans to start my own language interpreting agency Fluid for All Language Solution, which is her business. So she's actually starting her own business on top of her full-time job. This will require time and money, among other unknown additional commitments and sacrifices. She's a single parent to a sweet yet rebellious teen son, which can be quite stressful. And she also was currently healing from a recent surgery at the time. If you're a single parent, if you're having struggle with your finances, with your time, don't know what to do, how you can actually fit in everything, and then now you have swim, bike, run, and not just one sport, and then also you have a teenager or a kid that's at home and you're a single parent, anything of those, can you relate to what Villie is experiencing, especially when you have big goals? If that's you, say hashtag challenges, hashtag challenges. If you can relate, let's say that, hashtag challenges. So we know that it's not just Villie, because I myself, I'm telling you, just running alone, training for running alone, it's already hard. But then now Villie has this, all three, single parent, full-time job, business, I don't know. And also actually, she was also taking exams and studying exams. So now Villie, of all this in your plate, why? Why do you still want to do the triathlon? Like, what made you actually have finishing a triathlon a goal this year?
Well, I don't know what people do to deal with stress.
Okay.
For me, working out is a stress reliever, and it's a win-win. If it's done right, it's a win-win. Sometimes you need an additional carrot on the stick, you know, which is getting rewarded with finishing a triathlon. That was quite a challenge for me. This is my first half Ironman distance. So I do it because I need my sanity, and I also need to stay healthy to
say hand in
my
hand.
other goals.
Okay. All right. So it looks like even though you have this challenges in terms of finances and then the time, you still you want this one. Was it hard for you to actually commit to do it in the first place? Were you scared? What were you feeling in actually just the start of the year? Like, oh, okay, this is 221. Will I still want to get my goal?
So it was not hard committing to it initially. To staying committed is a different story.
Gotcha.
Because I'm sure you remember, Shang, I volunteered to run with you when you were doing your big
the world record, the Guinness World Record last year.
Right. And I thought, well, I can do something a little more than what I'm doing. So I felt good about committing to it. Gotcha. So I signed up for like 4 different events, including a full Ironman at the end of this year. And then I didn't realize how much time this can take, and on top of the other things I had to do. So staying committed was the scary part. Initially, I was excited, and transferring that excitement to keep the commitment and to make the sacrifice to make it happen, that's where it is. You have to want it. I mean, you have to see it and it'll happen. That's my frame of mind.
Yeah. Well, actually, your commitment on the 70.3, one of the things that I saw on your timeline was because it started off with a birthday goal. Was that right? Can you tell me more about this one? 50th birthday back in 2019 to finish a half Ironman event.
Yeah. So back into 2018, I decided, well, next year I was 49. I was turning 50 in 2019. And I thought, I got to do something epic, and for me, it was like, okay, I'm going to commit 50. So 50 is half a century, which is how old I was turning the following year. And half Ironman is half Ironman. So I'm like half century, half Ironman. That's a goal, that's right. That's a good goal. So I committed to it then, and I couldn't, I had some personal issues that were holding me back and kept me from training properly and just, emotionally not ready. And we all know what happened in 2020, not much happened actually. And then this year, you may remember I was supposed to do Monterey, and that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Then Bayshore got canceled twice. And as for me, initially, I thought, oh, forget it. I'm done. I don't have to do it. But at the same time, I thought, well, what if I just continue training and probably even do better than I would have done if the event had gone on as it was scheduled? So I chose to look at it from a different perspective and just get training, and finally the moment came. So
did you feel disappointed when those races got canceled?
Very.
Why was that? Tell me more about the disappointment, because you were training so hard, because you're not the only one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of money involved in these. I mean, this is not a cheap sport. I'm sure people that have gotten into it already figure that out. I'm as a single mom with a teenager, they grow after every meal, it feels like. And every meal is a paycheck. So me getting into triathlons and having a goal, I'm like, okay, I can take a break then financially, or I had taken the time off work. I had taken, mentally, I was preparing myself for it. And when it didn't happen, it was quite disappointing. Yeah. A lot of expenses, flight tickets that were not refunded, lodging, because it was done in such a short notice that, it just didn't happen. Yeah. So
especially because a lot of races got canceled already last year. And then now here you go, a couple of your races got canceled, but you stayed on track. I mean, you were still showing up to our group workouts and doing the best you can. So what got you, like you said, it was hard for you to stay committed, but you are still on it, actually still working out, because somehow there gotta be a race coming up. So what did you do? Like what goes into your mindset, especially when you're having a hard time?
Well, I'll be honest, Shang. I at first I was like, forget this. I'm just gonna like, why am I working so hard? And but I know myself. I know that after a little while, I just needed a break, and I just needed to understand that it wasn't about me, and it wasn't just to me that this happened. It was overall, all these people that signed up for the same event were going through the same struggles. Yeah. So I just decided I'm just going to I gave myself permission to take a week or so and just kind of decompress, figure it out, and jump back on it.
Here you go, everyone. She just said she takes breaks. Anyone else who's taking a break, just share that. What do you do when things happen? Like you don't want it to happen, but it just happened. For Villie, she takes breaks and to make sure that she's good, and then she get back on it. Is that right, Villie? Yeah. Can you still get back on it? Welcome, Andrea. So anyone else who's jumping in, we are here live with Villie, who won on her first 70.3, despite of all the challenges that I just mentioned earlier. So now another one that you also mentioned is that you did not like cold open water, the temperature of the cold open water. I wanted to show one of the images that I actually have here. This one was back in March. And at the time, the temperature was at around 60 Fahrenheit, and no one really was showing up much there because it was just so cold. And I know for you, your goal is like, you know what, I have race coming up and I got to go, and the pool is not there. So how did you do it? Because I know you didn't like cold water. I know also that you did not, actually, you're afraid of those creatures or plants under the water. So, or like the things that you'd see under the water. So what made you actually still show up, even though there's this resistance of you going to the open water, but you still did it?
Well, anybody that knows me, Shang, knows to this day. I mean, sometimes you don't even want to be around me when I get to the open water or even the pool. I'm like, dang it, crap, geez, I have to get in, And I just it's a battle between me, myself, and I. With the water. For some reason, I've never been a fan of water, and it's not because I don't know how to swim. I knew the basics. Sure. But this is part of my goal. And as to why I don't like it, I don't know. So it's not going to hurt me. Out of all three sports, this is the one that will hurt me the least. So I just keep talking to myself. I mean, I just got back from the pool not too long ago. Well, earlier today.
Good for you.
And I was like, okay, I can do this. And you just keep showing up. You just have to. You have to. It's not going to happen any other way.
All right, everyone. Show up is one of your notes. I hope I see that on your notes. Show up, even though there's some resistance coming up, because guess what? She keeps showing up. And this actually happened after she placed first in her age group. She actually finished 3 miles in open water swim, despite that it was only March when she was telling me, I couldn't. And until now, she still says that. She still says, she just said that right now. But it was only, I believe that was only a couple of weeks ago. She finished 3 miles open water swim. 2020, end of 2020, she filled out the same questionnaire about herself. What's the longest distance that you've swum? And she said 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards. This 3 miles is over 5,000. And guess what? Her pace on this one was actually 2:38 minutes, 2:37 minutes per 100 yards for that 3 miles. That's amazing. Tell us, what did you do? So you show up, and this just happened. Is that what it is? That sounds easy.
I show up, and I don't show up every time. I'm sure you guys have noticed. I don't show up every time. I just show up as often as I can. And when I'm there, I just give it the best that I can, mainly because I want to get out as soon as possible.
Get in, get out.
I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get out of here. But I'm actually starting to enjoy it. I'm noticing that if I get out of my own way, I have created a wall between me and my goal. And swimming, it's a wall that I may perpetually be trying to knock down. because it's still there and I feel it and I see it and I just kind of go through it. I'm not trying to go around it. I'm not trying to go over it or ignore it or not go, you know, it's there. Yeah. So I just try to work my way through it. And when Christopher Cleveland, one of the
athletes,
members, I mean, that's another thing, you know, there's so much camaraderie in this group that you just keep asking around and people see this look of like, I don't like this, or how do I do this? And they will come to you and help you. And Chris has been one of those people. Yeah, he is truly, I mean, just, he stops and helps you. And I really appreciate people like him and several other people, you know, like yourself. And so he just said, I'm doing the island. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing it.
Come on over, do it with me.
Yeah, he's invited me a few times. And then after I did Bayshore, I thought, you know, why not? I probably should at least try it. And I almost backed out of it the night before because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's 3 miles. Like, how am I going to do it? But it felt so good. It felt more like a bigger accomplishment than even the half Ironman distance, because swimming has been my kryptonite all my life. So.
And you did it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's about 6 months, from 1,000 to 3 miles, 6 months in open water. Yeah. Show up, be surrounded by people. One of them similar, same, like Chris, who's actually helping you out, giving advices. But I'm sure you also spoken out, like, you know, did you like be vulnerable or actually tell your struggles to anyone, or is it that they just come to you and help you out? Is that?
Oh no, I do tell them. I think people sometimes turn around and walk away because I get to Bayshore and I'm like, oh, I don't like the water. It's so cold. It's so long. It's so dark. It's so whatever, you know. So sometimes I noticed I'm like, I better leave. I'm not inspiring people here. So it's not always, no, it's not easy every time, if ever at all, for me to do the swimming part. And once again, Shang, I don't know why I dislike it. Now it's become my quest to find out why don't I like something that is so good for me?
You have a mission. Know?
Yeah. So I just keep showing up.
Yeah. Well, let's welcome Christina here, going to our live as well. Welcome, Christina. So if you're just jumping into our live, we have Villie here, who placed first in her age group on her first 70.3 plus. We just talked about her finishing 3 miles of open water swim within 6 months, coming from 1,000 yards to 3 miles. Even though she finished it, she's still on a mission, trying to find out why there's a, you know, like a wall between those, the swimming, but she's doing amazing. So if you are one of those that are having struggles with swimming, say, I share the same thing as Villie's experiencing. What have you done to actually overcome this? Have you done like showing up, just like what Villie has said? Surround yourself with people who can help you tell like how bad you don't like something, so people can also help you out, right? So I know it was hard for you to commit to that 3 miles. And even at night, you almost back out, but you still showed up. Others would have not showed up. Again, I'm going to ask you, what made you just showed up? You could have not like, maybe next time, but you did show up. What went into your mindset that made you show up? Were you nervous at the start?
Yes, I was nervous. And I'll tell you, I was just recently, and not until my much older years, I have realized, I've come to terms with the fact that shortcuts are always the longest way. Shortcuts are always the longest way. You back out of something that you know you have to do, you're going to have to come back and do it anyway, especially if you commit to it. You know, if you commit to it, if you're paying for it, or if there are other people whose time, who are investing their time to do this event with you, and they're willing to show up, it's such a slap in the face to not, to leave them waiting or standing or changing your mind just because. I mean, unless you're dead or somebody you love is dying,
Yeah.
Really try to stand. I try, and I won't be, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't always do it, but I definitely, if I commit, I'm going to do it. So I committed to doing it, and I'm like, oh, well, I may end up swimming just half, but I'm going to show up.
If I commit, I'm going to do it. So whatever you say, you are going to do it. Is that right? So your words are really powerful to you. There's power in it. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody's words should be, I mean,
should. You said should. You're right. Everybody should, right?
Because I have been one of those people that have not lived up to my, if I had a fear, I prayed for something to happen so I didn't have to do it, or I had something happen so I could excuse myself from doing it. And like I said, Shang, shortcuts are always the longest way to whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. I'm definitely inspired by the fact that you take your time, you put them time, and you sacrifice, and you stand by your word. Your word is the biggest thing. And I think for me as a single mom raising a young man, I have to be an example.
There you go.
Yeah, I say I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, good, bad, or indifferent. So
good. Do you guys get those? Those are really powerful, what she just said there. Okay. Example to her kid. That's one of our whys. What's your why? Share it under this live video. I know that with swimming in you have a wall, right? And I bet you wish you would feel the same way, the way you feel with, the way you feel with running, transfer to swimming, where you can just show up and do it anytime, right? Because I wanted to share to you guys one of her achievement actually early this year. It's amazing, I thought. She did not run for 1.5 months because of a surgery. And with only 4 weeks of training, she got back. I counted her workout numbers. She only trained 11.5 hours of running. But of course, these are very specific, something that's gradually progressing and doable at her fitness. She did this one on February, about 2 months after the surgery, and she got a 2 hour and 26 minutes. I know at the time also when you did this, you were very happy. Tell us about it. How did it go? What did you feel about it when you finished? Considering 2:26, I think that's a great time with only 11.5 hours of training.
Yes, I had recently had elective surgery, and I figured during off season I would have the surgery. Then that way I would start my training right. I just basically followed your lead. Besides the fact I love to run, that's my go-to exercise. I love to run, but I couldn't. I mean, I had to go back to the basics, and I'm glad that I had your leadership. It's not easy. It's not easy because you're very meticulous about the way things should be. And we all want a quick and fast pill that's just the magic pill that's going to help you, that's going to make you lose weight, or the magic pill that's going to make you run faster, the magic pill that's going to make you swim like a fish. And it doesn't happen, And so my younger self wouldn't have done it. I would have been like, oh, Shang, no, you're too detailed. And it was because of those details. They didn't make sense at that time. I'll be honest. I was like, oh, do I have to do this? And why is it so detailed?
Can I just run up? Can I just do the same
thing?
Right.
I'm like, I want to run in the opposite direction. But fact of the matter is, once the time came for me to do an event, you were in the back of my mind saying, okay, don't forget, bring your elbows back, drop your shoulders, bring your knees up, so breathing, everything just kind of came together. I was like, oh, wow. So it does work. Okay.
Congratulations. That was 2:26. And the thing about it is that one of the things, if you followed your younger self, as you said, that would be a danger of you injuring yourself because, and this is what I wanted to share, it's one of our challenges Villie shared at the very beginning before she even started training again this year, is that she wants to stay injury-free. it was back in 2012 when she started having swollen knees, and even my knees started bothering me in my early 40s. So it's been hard, and it's been something that she doesn't want to feel. Okay, because of also genetically, there's those things that you're worried about. But what I was really happy to hear during your 70.3, which was just about 3 weeks ago or this month, before she was feeling pain, discomfort on her knee, she has a knee strap. And she told me at 70.3, a half marathon that was early this June, she did not feel anything on her knee. And this one was a half marathon after a 56-mile bike, which is a fast time on a bike for 56 mile on a first 70.3, in which her time was actually 3 hours 15. That's pretty fast for someone who just started. And considering that her pace also is pretty good and not feeling pain. Isn't that amazing? Did you expect that? I don't think you even remembered that you used to have your knee pain before you even started 2021. How did that feel?
It felt, I thought about it for a minute, but then it's a lot of it is mental blocks that we create for ourselves, you know, besides the fact that it's very real. I'm not going to downplay the fact that, okay, I'm 52. My knees I've been putting weight on them all my life, and I've been pounding on them for so long. But in the process of being with Shang and being around other triathletes, some of them who are physical therapists, chiropractors, and stuff like that, they give you some tips. For example, you know, building your muscle, your internal muscles, so that they can absorb the pounding that goes to your knees. Things of that sort that I've learned along the way, and just like honestly in the last 6 months that I've been surrounding myself with feisty foxes and other members from 3P, from Tribe, from other areas, just coming together as a community. You know, don't try doing this by yourself. If that's what you're trying to do, not that you couldn't do it, it's just going to be harder. And it's going to, your body's going to really feel it. And that's what I had been doing up until 6 months ago. So
good for you, Villie.
Yeah, I felt good.
Yeah, good for you. So those are amazing. What else is coming up for you, Villie? Because you finished your 70.3 half marathon, not having knee pain so far. And let's keep it that way. We have a full Ironman coming up and another 70.3. Is that right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So I would like to do the island again.
Okay, there you go. Who else want to join Villie?
Saying that.
He's already saying it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Someone
a couple of friends
who does have a wall between the water and Villie, telling right now she's going to do the 3-mile swim again.
Yeah.
How amazing that is. She's not saying another run, but she's saying a swim. Good for you. Awesome.
So hopefully in the next month, I'll do the island. I'm looking to do perhaps legacy triathlon here in Long Beach. And I signed up for Cozumel in September, which is a half Ironman. That'll be my first true half Ironman. Yes. That's September, end of September, beginning of October or mid-October, I have Long Beach Marathon. So I'll do a full marathon then. And then beginning of November is Florida full Ironman.
It's coming up. So it's another 3 months, 70.3 in the ocean, and another one, Florida, in November. That's a full. That'll be your first full.
That'll be my first full.
In the ocean with choppiness, with entering. And of course, 112 mile and 2.4 miles and 26.2. Yay, Christina said. Who else are having excited on their upcoming races? Put down below, what's your race? What's your race? What are you excited about? Are you going to join Villie on her next adventure in the water? So Villie, we're about to end now. We want to ask you, if there's someone just like you Okay, like let's put the old Villie back here. The Villie who was very, very worried about the first 70.3, right? The Villie who like concerned because she's very busy, right? Finances, you're still a single mom and you have your son, right? You're still building your business. Let's say this other people other athletes who are actually having the same challenges that you do have. What are the top 3 things that you could probably tell them or advise them if they want to achieve this goal? It could be just like you finishing their first 70.3, or it could be something like what you had actually as a short-term goal. Your short-term goal was, I want to be at the top of my age group, and you did it. So, you know, a person who's actually new to triathlon and say like, I want to be there, right? Just saying it. Some athletes are just so hard to say. I want to be at the top because they don't know how, but you said it. And that's what I love about you. You said it, and that word is out now. You got to do it. But let's hear from you. If there are other athletes just like you, who's new to triathlon, having challenges, a lot of roadblocks, what can you tell them?
If you commit, when you commit, I encourage you to commit and be serious about it, enjoy it along the way. But if you do, really go after that community, you know, stay in the area or come around the people that are willing to help you, or ask for the help. You know, we all have a busy schedule. Ask for the help. And if you do get the help, just commit to it. Don't make any excuses for yourself, because that's looking for shortcuts. And at least it didn't work for me. I hope it works for you. But what worked for me is committing, looking at the community and the people around me and literally asking for the help, and then breathing life into my commitment. Yeah.
Taking it seriously, because she does take it seriously. Like, I'm committed. I said my words. I'm going to do my best, even though it's so hard. I have a lot of resistance right now, but I'm still going to give my best. Everything I got, and she got it. She did not even expect all these things. It just happened because she's in action. Right, Villie, is that right?
That is correct.
Good stuff. So I know, Villie, you're very busy. And how about you tell me, Villie, what's your business that you're starting?
It's a language interpreting agency. We interpret, translate, medical, legal, Fluent for All Language Solutions.
Fluent for All Language Solutions. Thank you. So she's building that. If you want to hear more about it, or if you want to join her in her training or follow her, message her. She is very humble, very friendly, really down to earth, and positive, definitely positive, except when they're swimming. You'll hear it, but you know, she's still going to do it with you. But anyways, welcome. Thank you so much, Villie. Thank you for being here, and till next time. Bye, everyone.